Jews. You're going to bow before us, and you're going to acknowledge that we're the real people of the Lord, not you. That's right. So that bullshit that you set up in 1948, that's going to be out the window.
Yep. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Right, the forces of the Gentiles is talking about your riches. So all those riches you got, Evelyn Rothschild, you're just keeping it warm for us, that's all. You know, you're just keeping it warm for us. All those riches that you 13 rich families got, you're just keeping it warm for us. Because we're going to take everything that you have, then we're going to take you. And we're going to put you in slavery underneath us. For 1,000 years, thus saith the Lord.
And that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Right, the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Go on, serve thee meaning us.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious.
Yeah, that's talking about the land of Israel. Because right now the land of Israel looks like a war zone. But when you devils go down, you so-called Jews, and when you're blasted out of that land, and when we go back to that land is going to look like the Garden of Eden, as it says in the book of Isaiah, the 35th chapter.
The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
Yeah, that's your sons. Come bending unto us. Go on.
And all that despise thee shall bow themselves at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations.
Yeah, that's talking about us, the tribes. We're the ones that have been forsaken and hated. But you hear what the Lord said, He's going to make us a joy of eternal generations.
Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breasts of kings, and thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
Right, we're going to take their riches. Go on.
For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness.
Yeah, the Lord is going to bring back peace to our nation, meaning the tribes, and bring back righteousness to our nation. So you won't have no bugged out Negroes. You won't have no niggas selling drugs to each other. All right? You won't have no adulterers among our nation. There's going to be total peace and righteousness among the tribes.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
Yeah, you won't have no drive-by shootings, all right?
Wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power thy glory. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit.
Yeah, did you hear that? It says, thy people all shall be righteous.
Right, it says, they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
Yeah, and we're going to have many children in the kingdom. Now, yeah.
All right, back to 2 Esdras 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Yeah, lack of bread, meaning famine, and great tribulation, meaning these wars, the race riots, all right, coming against so-called law enforcement, all right?
Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them.
And you know it's the spirit, because if you look at Hollywood, they're bringing out movies that show you that exact same scenario that we just read. All right, the movie The Road, all right, the movie with Denzel in it, The Book of Eli. What does it show? It shows chaos. It shows turmoil, the breakdown of society. You know, women being sold as goods, as commodity. Everything that we've been telling you. So you know it's the Spirit of the Lord bringing these things down. And these things were written thousands of years ago. And the Most High showed it to the prophets in visions and had them write it down. Now we're in the time of these things coming into play.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Lord power. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth.
Yeah, the scriptures say, the Lord said, my right hand shall not spare the sinners. Another example, you have a place out there called Las Vegas. What is it called? Sin City. So America, man, America is definitely cruising for a bruising, and that's exactly what they're going to get from the Heavenly Father. And then we talked about 2 weeks ago how they passed, made it lawful for 2 men to get married, for 2 women to get married, right here in New York City, New York State. So you're going to tell me America is not going to be destroyed? That's the very same thing Sodom, the 2 cities among the 5, were destroyed for, Sodom and Gomorrah. So America is no different.
Right, and we were reading that in the studio, and it said that the grievousness and the wickedness came up into the ears of the Most High. So the angels were coming down and reporting to the Most High the things that were happening in Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Lord sent the angels down there to deliver Lot to basically to destroy those 2 cities, and eventually they destroyed those 2 cities, which was nothing but faggots and lesbians and freakism and bestiality. And that's the same thing that's going on here in America. Everybody's allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do. There's no restrictions. There's it's immorality. That's what the Lord called his place a valley. You know, the valley of the shadow of death, which a valley represents a low land, and this place is low in morals. You know, and they become lower and lower in morals as each day goes by. It says, the fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord.
So that's you so-called white people. Woe means destruction, because you don't keep the Lord's laws, all right? And you're nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. You say in God we trust. What God are you talking about? You're talking about the God of Satan. That's the God that you trust in. And by the way, we found out that term, in God we trust, is really a Masonic term. And I believe it was Albert Pike which came out, and he said that the God that we trust in, meaning the God that the Masons trust in, is Lucifer, meaning akin to the devil, Satan.
It says, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary.
And if you do your research, you'll find out that all these so-called judges, all these so-called senators, they're all Masons. And Masonry is witchcraft. Even these so-called preachers, they're all Masons. They're all part of secret clubs, secret elite clubs, which are all Masons, which goes back to Masonry, which Masonry is witchcraft.
Yeah, and if you check out all them priests, so-called priests and pastors in the church, they might all have a different story, but they all teach the same exact doctrine. You know, that all nations can be saved, that the Lord came to save everybody, which really, like the Elder Gabar said, is the one world order doctrine. That's right. And that's what they're teaching. All of them. Check them all out. From Islam to the Jehovah's Witness to the Mormons to Scientology, whoever it is, they all teaching that one world doctrine. It says, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and you shall remain in them. For the Most High should not deliver you, because you have sinned against him.
Yeah, the only ones the Most High is going to deliver is the elect. That's why when we tell you we're out there teaching, we're looking for the elect. All right, those of you that can't get it, we don't give a shit about you. It just means you're not part of the elect. Pursuant to Romans 11:7, it says, "What then have Israel obtained that Israel, right, he seeketh for, have not obtained it, but the elect have obtained it, and the rest were blinded." So we only care about the elect. That's the only ones we care about of our nation. Everybody outside of that, we don't give a shit about you.
It says, "Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, and all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood."
Yeah, and that's talking about the Iranians, which that's what you have. You know, America is about to, well, really, America is really at war right now with Iran. They just haven't really come out and fully expose it. All right, then you got Afghanistan, you got the people of Iraq, they're still at war there. So that's the prophecy right there that the brothers read. All right, and don't believe that Barack Obama is going to bring back the troops. Barack Obama is going to send more troops over there, because it tells you in the book of Joel that the Lord said, "I will remove far from you the northern army," and then it gives you the description or the location where he's going to send that army to. And when you trace it, it's talking about the so-called Middle East, which you got the Iranians, you got the Iraqians, and you got the people of Afghanistan. And then America is supposed to be at war or go to war with Syria, the Syrians.
Yeah, and all them Arab nations and them other nations that follow Islam, they all pretty much see, you know, who the common enemy is, the so-called white man, and they're going to want to all come together to fight against these devils. You know, put away their differences, whatever they may be, and fight against these devils, because these devils are coming and attacking them, taking their land and taking their resources and killing off, you know, their children, their women, you know, so-called, you know, innocent civilians. It says, "And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians."
Right, and then you have the friction between the so-called Jews and the Arabs over there in Israel. You had something called the 67 borders, which Barack Obama was trying to establish, which didn't come to pass. All right, because what's happening over there is slowly but surely the so-called Jews are taking more and more of the land that the Arabs once had over there in Israel. Now the land don't belong to either one of them, but the so-called Jews, there's so much of a devil that they're encroaching more and more upon the land that the Arabs have over there. So what is that going to bring? That's beautiful. That's going to bring friction between the so-called Jews and the so-called Arabs, which is going to lead to what? World War III. That's why the prophecy states that the least of the heathen shall draw them out. And that's these so-called Jews. They're the ones that's going to bring World War III to pass, all right? Because they're the main heathen on the planet Earth. They're the main scum on the planet Earth. And anytime you talk about the so-called Jew, the first thing they do is take down your site or take down your video.
Yeah, because they're the scum of the earth. "And then shall the dragon have the upper hand, remembering their nature." And we, we just read that at the studio show.
That's right. That's right. Speaking about Ishmael, when the prophecy states that when he was born, he would be a wild man, and that's these so-called Arabs. All right, you see that nature.
Yeah, he said his hand shall be against every man, and every man's hands against him.
That's right.
It says, "And together in great power to persecute them." Let me read that again. "And then shall the dragon have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee." It says, "And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings." So we're here, you know, at the camp. So with that, you know, we'll say shalom to the next time.